So enticing.
Yeah. Mm.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Till Death Do Us Scream. I'm, of course, Rob, and this is my lovely Laurie Strode Mayhem Mel.
My husband really wants to kill me because I've been a total bitch this weekend.
No, that's not why, because I just have the sinister urge because you're
to choke me out because I've been a bitch this weekend.
No. All right. Thank you very much for your continued love and support when it comes to the show. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. Halloween's coming up. It's the best movie to talk about. It's my favorite movie of all time in terms of horror. I don't think Melody feels exactly the same, but that's okay.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
I would call this a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is a masterpiece.
You know, a lot of people throw that word around, but, you know, this is just the alpha and omega of all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there'd be nothing that we know now without it. God, what are we talking about here?
John Carpenter's Halloween.
If you couldn't tell already.
Right.
We're talking about John Carpenter's Halloween. It is 47 years old now, just like me. I think the main reason why I have such a connection to this movie is because, you know, I was born in October 1978, and I just kind of been aging along with this film in particular, and also just, I don't know, it just connects with me more than any other horror film.
Yeah, you are kind of a psychopath.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You said you think it's great, but, you know, what are your thoughts on it? Because I know they're a little different than mine.
Okay, well, I'm more of a blood, guts, and gore kind of girl. Mm-hmm. This has more of, like, a build-up. There's an actual story to it, though. Like, it's very, it streams in a timeline where people can actually follow it and understand. There's going to be less gore and more psychological horror. There's many times in this movie when the soundtrack overpowers, the score will overpower the actual dialogue that's going on. There's plenty of times where you have to turn it up so you actually can hear the dialogue, because the score is what's drawing you in.
Well, that's an interesting thing, because John Carpenter actually released this movie first without a score. And he just wanted to be more mood than anything else. You know, the best description I can come up with, like, is like in a violent nature, right?
Right.
You either love it, you know, the rustling of leaves and all that kind of stuff, or you just absolutely hate it and you're just like, God, this is the most boring thing ever. And I do understand that there's a lot of young people that probably think a movie like this is boring, but if you grew up with it, it was just, you know, I mean, you know, Michael Myers.
It's more of a realistic. It could really happen, and it has happened. Like, I'm pretty sure stuff like this has happened already, without the whole, like, future storylines with Halloween where it becomes more supernatural.
Yeah.
This is more of a visceral, realistic style, you know. I think this guy is Michael Myers is obviously something happened to him that Halloween, being ignored. You know what I mean? There's a high probability he already had a lot of psychological issues, and something flipped switch in his head, and he had a total meltdown. You know what I mean?
Sure, but you know, also,
I mean,
go ahead.
Honestly, if you're going through a psychotic breakdown and a rage, you won't feel pain.
Yeah. But I think the original was always supernatural. It just, like, kind of up to your interpretation of what that supernatural element is. You know, especially when we're talking about, you know, Dr. Loomis's speech, you know, and just what he saw in this boy. You know?
Pure evil.
And Rob Zombie, you know, obviously he took that to a way more realistic level. And, you know, we'll get into that at some point.
Right.
At some point, but because it's a totally different thing, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, I think the supernatural element's always been there. That's why John Carpenter calls Michael Myers the Shape.
Right.
Because, there's something there, but, like...
Pure evil.
Yes,
it is absolutely pure evil.
Let's talk quickly about the movie real quick in terms of production before we get into the story. So basically, John Carpenter, he is a UCLA student. He does a movie called Dark Star. It's the first independent film he did. Kind of like this really goofy, trippy sci-fi, things set in space. And then he does Assault on Precinct 13, which is another small budget movie. Then they're actually looking for a director to direct a film called The Babysitter Murders. That was the original title of the film. So basically it was just going to be a killer that was going after babysitters. That's what they wanted for this movie, right?
Gotcha.
So John Carpenter comes in, this young student, and he goes, this is what I have planned. This is what I want to do in terms of my layout. And this is the craziest thing, because John Carpenter goes, if I do this movie, I want my name across the title.
It's stuck.
And they were like, okay, sure, And with little money, they filmed this in California. A lot of people, because it is filmed based in Haddonfield, Illinois. So they were legit painting leaves. You know what I mean? Actually, there's scenes in the movie where if you look in the background, you'll see palm trees behind them.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So they were just trying their best to just cover it up and make it as fall and as Midwest as possible. People were carrying stuff. Jamie Lee Curtis was doing grunt work, and anybody else who wasn't doing something, they were always picking up or a cord or something like that, and carrying it here and there. One of the things I actually did, not saying I was the first because she had done conventions, but in terms of talking to her in a talk show format, I actually spoke to Judith Myers, and she told me one great thing that I don't think she ever told anybody was that when she's got the blood on her and she's nude in the room and stuff, she's covered in blood, she's got blood on her chest and stuff. It was actually Jamie Lee Curtis that was washing her off because that was the only way she felt comfortable. You got to remember, Jamie Lee plays this chaste, virginal girl, and Jamie Lee was a wild woman.
I believe it.
You know what I mean? She was drinking and drugging at this time. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, that is so awesome.
But from all points, totally professional, even at that age. Yeah, it was just John Carpenter and his friends, and they just tried to make this thing, and it comes out and just becomes this monster. When John Carpenter adds his score, that's when it becomes a massive hit. There's lines and lines around the block.
Oh my god.
The music is also a character too.
Yeah, it is. It sets the tone. Way sets the tone, and it actually makes the movie more dramatic.
So this is the biggest independent film in terms of box office for decades. And then it got overshadowed by some other movie. I can't remember which one it was in particular, but forever it was the king of independent horror. Right. You know what I mean? And DVD sales and Michael become the icon. He's just one of the most famous monsters in horror. And in my opinion, Miss Laurie Strode here, the greatest final girl that ever was.
Scream queen, yeah.
I think when it comes to Laurie Strode, I was always basically
she was a good babysitter.
Well, that's the thing, what'd she get? $6 an hour?
Oh, back then, probably even less. Probably $2 an hour. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? But it's a young girl who's making a little bit of money, and she could have just, one of my babysitters probably would have bonked out. You know what I mean? And left me behind. Hey, sorry, kid. But this girl stays behind. And the one thing that really blew my mind to this day is when she says, "Do as I say."
Yeah. Do as I say. Yeah, exactly. Because she was asserting her authority, and she was definitely making sure those kids were going to be safe.
So with that, babe, let's get into the movie. If you guys have seen it, you know it's it's
pretty linear.
It's pretty boilerplate in terms of being a horror fan. You know what this movie is. But for those who have not seen Halloween,
AMC Plus.
There are people that have never seen Halloween.
AMC Plus has it on right now, and I'm pretty sure there's many ways that you can see this movie.
Sure.
You could probably talk to your grandma, your grandpa, your dad, your mom, if you're younger. See if they have a copy of it on VHS or DVD. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Your 47-year-old father.
Yeah.
Yeah. We enter Haddonfield, Illinois.
Actually, yeah, we do.
We are seeing the Myers house, and Judith Myers is having a little fun with a 3-pump chump, apparently, because this dude.
Yeah, dude, he was like 2 minutes. Seriously, 2 minutes, and then you see him pulling his shirt down as he's walking down the stairs. Like, really? That's it? That's all he's got?
I guess so.
Oh wow. Okay.
Poor girl. Look, that's what teenage boys, have to bring to the table. I guess.
Apparently, and then you have a young Michael Myers in his clown outfit.
He's watching through the windows,
and he puts the mask on. And then the guy runs out the door. The boyfriend runs out the door, and he goes upstairs. His sister is sitting on her makeup chair.
She's brushing her hair.
She's only got her underwear on, and she's like, "Oh my God, Michael!" He comes in and he stabs her to death. And then he walks.
There's clearly something very ancestral here, right? Like in terms of Michael's feelings for his sister.
I don't know, dude.
I think there is. I think there is.
I don't know. Or maybe it just traumatized him. Maybe that's what traumatized him.
That's the thing. This movie is left up to interpretation.
But here's the thing: when you look at this little Michael Myers, he's a cute little kid. He's a cute kid. He's a handsome little devil.
Yeah, he's a cute kid, and his parents look normal. You know what I mean? It's not like Rob Zombie where it's like, "I'll fucking cover your tits, you fucking bitch." You know what I mean?
Like, no, he grew up in a very normal household. You know what I mean? So he's obviously coming back from trick or treating. He saw things he shouldn't have seen, and he goes and he stabs the crap out of his sister. And then he comes back downstairs, and his parents are coming back, and they see him with a knife in his hand.
Yeah, he's just basically just in this trance outside. They do the pan up shot. That's really all you need to know about him. You know what I mean? That's really all you need to know.
He is it's like he's not there anymore. Something else is there. It's not him.
Yeah. Let me say this before we start. Again, I have a deep respect for Rob Zombie's version. I know a lot of people kind of hate it, but I'm not in that camp. But it's that. This is why this movie's so special, is because you don't need to have all these beats of, the mom going to the psychiatric hospital and talking to Dr. Loomis, and they become friends or whatever. It's all just basically implied, right? Yeah.
Then you see a car driving, and you got Dr. Loomis and I think his nurse in there. They're going to pick up 15 years later. They're going to pick up Michael Myers. So you got to remember, he's probably about 25 now.
Well, here's a question I always ask people in terms of trivia. Do you recall the first thing, because there's a lot of them, the first illegal infraction that Dr. Loomis does in the movie? I'll tell you right now. It's when he's parking his car, he parks in the handicap spot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, this guy he's a lawbreaker, that's for sure.
I love Loomis, but he's definitely
the lawbreaker.
I want to mention something about Dr. Loomis too. By the time the series gets to the very tail end, this dude's like Trump. He's breaking international laws.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's so bad. He goes up to the gate, and because he's trying to pick up, I think he's trying to pick up Michael Myers, right?
No, he's actually there on the night that Michael's supposed to be transferred.
Yeah, he's going there because he's supposed to be transferring him. That's why they have the car with the gate in the back. You know what I mean? So he's with the nurse,
and
he's a bunch of a bunch of patients got out, and they're just roaming around. One of them jumps up on the car while Loomis is at the gate trying to get in.
That's Michael.
And, he's smashing up the window, terrorizing this nurse. The nurse jumps out. Michael takes off the car. Now, here's the question. How the hell did he know how to drive that car?
That's a question for the ages, babe. I don't know if they...
Because he was a kid when he went in. There was no way he could have learned.
Maybe they had driving lessons, like, at the...
Like, how the hell is this guy driving this car?
Smith's Grove, maybe?
I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so he gets out.
Maybe he's just so smart and diabolical that he would just know how to do something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, they do say how he would sit in a chair and he'd be looking out towards Haddonfield, and he 150 miles away, and he was just catatonic. So maybe he wasn't there, and like the demon that resides in him was like out checking stuff out, learning how to drive. No, I'm just kidding.
Or maybe he's just fixated on maybe there's a parking lot like right outside his window.
I don't know.
He's just fixated on one person, like watching him like use the gear shift. After a certain amount of years, you would know how to do something.
Right? I don't know. You're just staring at it. But he jets off. And then you come up into, you seeing this lovely young blonde lady whose hair was not done very well for the first few scenes, mind you. Frizz ball. Apparently they got
wait till you see the wig on her in Halloween too.
Oh shit. Anyways, she's sitting in a classroom and she sees this car drive by that has this goof in it. This goof is driving around a lot in the background. You see him you see it like he's in the town. He's looking for his sister.
So basically what he does is Loomis is tracking him. He stopped at a gas station. He killed a gas station attendant, stole his overalls, and then somehow he figures out that he's in Haddonfield because he finds a pack of matches that say Robin Red, which I guess is a bar that's located in a particular area.
Yeah, but like...
And he knows Michael's going home.
He fucking robs a place, and he takes masks, rope.
Oh, the hardware store.
The hardwares and knives.
Look, it's a.
Was that him or was that somebody? That might have been kids. That might have just been.
Well, kids. In the '70s, like stores were just kind of different. Like maybe a hardware store had a Halloween section. You know what I mean?
Right.
And actually, when we get into the Danielle Harris movies, like that hardware store did actually have a section for Halloween. So. As stupid as it sounds that they have knives and stuff at a hardware store.
I mean, it's considered hardware.
It works, I guess. So we are introduced to Sheriff Brackett.
Yep.
And Laurie's friends.
They're in college, right?
Played by no,
they're in high school. Yeah.
Played by Nancy Loomis and the Miss PJ Souls. And. I mean, they seem like really good friends, but they're not very kind to Laurie, are they?
They're kind of mean to her. They treat her like shit. Like they kind of do. Like they're kind of mean to her because she's smart and she doesn't party and she actually has a job and she's not trying to just up and get laid and she's actually studying. I guess she scares off all the guys.
She loves Ben Tramer.
But,
She loves Ben Tramer. And for any Halloween fans, we know what the fuck happens to Ben Tramer because if you've seen Halloween 2, bang! But anyway, I think, because she's supposed to be the bookish, nerdish kind of girl who just, basically just does the right thing. Her, she's had a very, great upbringing and whatnot. And, of course, this is in the beginning where... We're breaking away because, John Carpenter didn't have that idea until part 2 that she's just a girl. They're not brother and sister. I'm sorry. I respect the Halloween lore, but I hate the fact that they're brother and sister.
Doing a job, taking, doing, she's bringing a pumpkin with her to carve with the kid she's babysitting. Yeah. She's doing popcorn. They're watching The Thing. Yeah, they're doing Halloween stuff after trick-or-treating is done and over with. You know what I mean?
So as, as they're on the street, right? They're just walking and they're talking. And then her friend goes, "Hey, jerk, speed kills." And then, the car stops. It's very menacing. Yeah. Clearly anywhere that they're walking, Michael is somewhere in the vicinity.
He's stalking them, dude.
Laurie's walking on the sidewalk. There's a bush And then Michael walks out of it, walks back. Here's the funny thing. So if you look really careful at this bush, you could see a bunch of cigarette butts burning and stuff. That's where John Carpenter was filming. So anywhere he'd go, he'd just flick a cigarette because he just smoked all the time.
That's awesome.
That's basically it. And then we're, like you said, we're at Halloween night. They're all babysitting.
Yep.
Babysitting.
Well, one of them isn't. PJ Soul's character, she's off with her boyfriend getting drunk and, being stupid. Instead, the other girl, Loomis, she's babysitting. She wanted to be hooking up with her boyfriend, but he was in trouble and had to stay at home. So, yeah. She ended up babysitting instead of inviting the boyfriend over after the kid went to sleep so they could.
Yep. Instead, she's got to babysit Lindsay, and she gets butter on her clothes, and then
takes off all her clothes.
She has to wash her clothes, because she got a little bit of butter on herself, but she's down to her underwear.
I know, right? She did all And
meanwhile, at the Myers house, I guess Michael's eating dog.
I know, right? What do you?
Oh, love that wolf.
Right, maybe he was hungry. He needed to get his energy up. This is not a man. He's not a man. He is pure evil. Yeah, that's where no human would eat that. He's not a human. He's not human.
Yeah. So he's with Sheriff Brackett, and he's basically they're on patrol trying to find Michael. Like you said, PJ Souls is with her boyfriend. They end up at Lindsay's house after dropping Lindsay off with Lori, because they're she's look, I'm getting laid. You're gonna take care of the kid I'm supposed to be taking care of. Before that, her boyfriend says something about then we could take each other's clothes off, and then we could take off Lindsay's clothes. What the fuck is your problem, dude? What are you talking about?
Pervert. That's what he is. Yeah.
I think he's just, he's just being a boy. But he's just, going way, way above the line. Yeah. They have sex, and,
he keeps hearing the phone ringing. And he takes it off the hook. Well, first things first, you had
he leaves to go get a beer. Right?
Yeah, Loomis's character, first things first, she drops her kid off over with Laurie Strode, and then she goes back across the street to go get her car, but then she has to go back and get her keys, and then she goes back in, and homeboy right here is right behind her, and he kills her. He kills her.
Crushed her larynx or something. No, that's the thing. It's at first I thought he crushed her neck with his, just crushed her larynx.
He stabbed her.
He slices her throat.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about this.
He had her in a chokehold.
And that's the thing about this movie is there is really no blood, and that's what this is known for. But again, Texas Chainsaw Massacre doesn't really have any blood either. So it's all just kind of implied, how horrifying and horrific this night is.
Right.
That's why John is a genius.
And that's when the two young punks come over, and then they come in the house and they're like, "Oh man, the light's off." And then they get the phone call from Laurie Strode, and she's like, "Oh well, I got the kid," and a homegirl went off to go pick up her boyfriend, and then that's when the other girl was like, "Oh, she's gone for the night." And that's when they go upstairs, and then they brown chicka brown cow. They're done. And then he goes to get her a beer.
He goes to get a beer, and he leaves the room, and that's when you see somebody. What happens is they're in the kitchen at first, and that's where he does the iconic, stabs Bob against the wall.
Oh, he lifts him up first.
He lifts him up with his hand and just sticks a knife in him, and he just hangs there.
He just stands there.
Michael's so powerful, and this is when he does the whole.
Stands there. I think he was looking at what he had done, and I think he was also watching the light go out of the guy's eyes.
Yeah, hell yeah. He's like, "This is great, man."
He's like, "I did that.
I made a real work of art here."
Yeah, he was looking at it like it was art.
So then, of course, PJ Souls, this is her moment, where
he comes in
she gets a flash of boobies because, like, he has a sheet over him
with the glasses,
with Bob's glasses on, and she's like, hey, what's the matter? Can't I get your ghost, Bob? And she does this, and then she's calling Lori,
right?
And that's when Michael comes up behind her. Sheet comes off. He strangles her with a phone cord, and then Lori answers the phone, and she just hears and she's like, "Come on!"
Like, I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that. This is the funny thing, because years and years ago, when I interviewed PJ Souls, I did ask her. I said, "Is there anything that you did to elongate the scene?" She's like, "Of course." She goes, "Actually, you can hear it, like, as I'm laying down on the floor, and he's still choking her." She was just, like, really bringing it. She's like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, she just, never wanted the scene to end. So she did, embellish on the whole.
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell. Yeah, she was really working the death scene.
You go to Laurie Strode, and, like you said, she's just...
she's
the best.
Yeah, she gets the kids up to bed. And then...
Well, so first she's like, like the kid's like, I want you to read comics with me. I want you to watch TV with me. We're going to carve this pumpkin together. She's just the greatest babysitter ever. She's awesome.
She is.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't hear from anybody. And she's getting worried. Meanwhile, Samuel Loomis, Dr. Loomis is outside of the Myers house. And we forgot to mention that, there's a bunch of bullies in the movie. And they're getting ready to go into Myers' house. Hey, right? Like, you're going to go in there first and blah, blah, blah. And then this is one of my favorite lines from Loomis. He goes, "Hey, Ronnie, get your ass away from me." The kids scatter.
Oh, my God.
Big look on Loomis'
because they think it's haunted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, these are kids. They really think this place is haunted.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, like, they go into the house, they inspect it, and, like, they know that Michael's been there.
Yeah, because they see the dog that's been eaten.
And that's when Brackett, like, has told the story about Michael, how, like, he met him as a little child, and, how, like, he just had this blank, pale, emotionless face and the darkest eyes, devil's eyes. And that's the supernatural element, I think. You know what I mean?
Shark eyes. He had shark eyes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a darkness in him that just can't be explained. He's just the shape. Michael Myers, like, he is mentioned, like, that name is mentioned quite a bit in the movie, but, like, in the title sequence, he's called The Shape. That's what John Carpenter wanted to call him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there is something, like, ethereal and just very, I don't know, like, unstoppable about this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like the Rob Zombie version where he's just this massive dude, he's just smashing through walls, but...
No, he gets stabbed, he goes down. Mm-hmm. He recovers, he gets back up. Like,
and you just mentioned too, like, every time he gets hit or he dies, probably, like, he's just, like, slower and slower each time because, like, people are just
fucking him up.
Yeah,
because you got to remember, in this first movie, he's an actual. Like, he hasn't been burned alive yet. You know what I mean? Like, he's still like alive.
Yeah, that's later on the night where he gets blown up. So Laurie goes to to Lindsay's house and basically just sees, that there's no lights on. Mm-hmm. She starts inspecting the house. It's very, very creepy and eerie. She doesn't know what's going on. She goes up the stairs, and then she basically, like, goes into the bedroom, sees her friend there with the tombstone of his sister above her. Mm-hmm. And then there's, Bob's hanging from the closet. You see PJ Souls.
She's in the
crossed eyes. She was just having fun.
Yeah, she was.
She was having a blast. That was the one thing we should mention is that, like, when Loomis gets into Haddonfield, he does, notice that, like, the tombstone's been stolen. Mm-hmm. So in his mind, he knows right away, this is Michael's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This guy, Michael, loves art installations. He really does. You know what I mean? He's got a flourish.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this guy's lumbering, like, not even behind her, but he's just kind of there, across the street. She's banging on the door. Tommy, let me in. And that's when he starts walking really fast. And that was the one thing you mentioned. Mm-hmm. You'd never really seen a killer do that.
No, like, in this one, he walks fast. Mm-hmm. This one, he's a fast walker. Yeah. Like he don't do the slow thing. He's like, I'm gonna get you.
The kids let like Lori in. She says, go to the room. This is, where she says the great line, "Do as I say."
Yes.
Because they're like, wait. She's like, just do as I say. And she's like basically just fending for her life. So she's sitting on the couch. Michael comes up behind her. She takes a sewing needle. She sticks it in his neck. He falls to the ground.
It was a knitting needle.
She drops it.
She's always dropping the knife.
She's dropping too many knives.
She runs upstairs. And then she got him, and he's down. She checks. And he's down.
Yep.
You're right. She drops the knife. She goes upstairs. She goes to get the kids.
Yes.
And he comes up behind her. And they're like, "Did you kill the boogeyman?" She's like, "Is the boogeyman coming?" "No, I killed him."
Yes.
"No, you didn't."
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
So basically, she runs into the closet. Great scene. She, wraps something up. I think like some sort of nylons or something to close the door, hold the door together. Not thinking he's gonna bust through it. I guess like,
right.
Oh, this door's too nice. I don't know. I don't want to mess this up. This doesn't belong to me,
Right.
But of course, he's like, and he goes in. She does the really smart thing of
grabbing a coat hook,
coat hanger, pulling it up, and sticks him in the eye. He drops the knife. She puts it in him. He falls down.
She drops the knife again.
Drops the knife again.
She goes to check on the kids again.
She tells them, "I want you to go across the street to the Mackenzies. Go to the neighbors. Basically, like I want to make sure you're safe." And then, of course, Michael uses his core strength. Iconic pops up.
Like the.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like a sit-up. Yep. And he just pops up. Boop. And then, he attacks her again. She rips the mask off.
He's a good-looking dude. Yeah.
Well, this is a cool thing because, like, once she takes the mask off, it's almost like he's gasping for air, like he's underwater, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's got to pull that mask on real fast. Like he's so like equipped.
Well, and then not only that, you can see that he's been damaged. Like, but with you can see the eye has been you can see that he's human and he's hurting.
Yeah. So then, of course, Loomis comes to save the day, shoots him 6 times. "I shot him 6 times!" He says it all throughout the series. We know he shot him 6 times. You'll know by the end of the series he shot him 6 times.
He shot him
says it a lot. 6 times. 6. Okay?
6.
So he falls over the balcony. She looks at him. She's crying hysterically. It was the boogeyman. He goes, as a matter of fact, it was. He looks over the balcony. Michael's gone. John and the cinematographer, Dean Cundy, who, of course, went off to do, like, Star Wars stuff and all this stuff. He's one of the greatest cinematographers around. They just panned to all these different places. The living room, outside, the hallway. And you just hear, like, the breathing happening. Like, Michael could be anywhere. You know what I mean? And, of course, as we know, it's not over for Lori. Her night just started because she's going to the hospital. And we get into Halloween 2. That's Halloween.
And
the greatest horror film ever.
Fantastic.
In my opinion.
It is fantastic.
Hang on, I'm gonna take this mask off.
It's a face reveal.
So that is our show, guys. Thank you very much for continued love and support. Like I said before, please like and subscribe to the channel. Really do appreciate it. And we're gonna finalize Halloween with a real party. We're excited about this one. This is really, really going to be fun. So, get ready, to do the time warp.
Let's do the time warp again.
In my opinion, the greatest musical ever made. It's fantastic. It's the 50th anniversary of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes. And we spent money on some costuming for this one.
Man, this is going to be something.
Yeah, we spent money.
So if you're a fan of the show, definitely be here next week because we are doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's going to be phenomenal. And
to the left and then to the right.
Yes, Halloween is the ultimate, Halloween movie, but it just felt right to make Rocky Horror our final Halloween film.
You know what, baby? We have costumes now, and we can actually go to a Rocky Horror Picture Show showing in costume.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure. Have you ever done it before?
No.
Oh, it's so awesome. So anyway, Rocky Horror Picture Show next week. And with that, we'll scare you later. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Deuces.
Greetings, everybody. Greetings, everybody. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Till Death Do Us Scream. I'm, of course, Rob, and this is my lovely infected wife, Mayhem Mel.